Like how it feels. I like how it feels. I like how it feels. So just turn it on, let me go. I'm alive, yes you know. Never stop, give me more, more, more. 'Cause I like how it feels. Oh yeah, I like how it feels. You know I like how it feels. Oh yeah, I like how it feels. What y'all consider the best? I consider mediocre. I want my bank accounts like Carter Slims or at least a mini Oprah. Maybe just close your eyes and imagine any part in the world I've been there. I'm like global warming, they think I just started heating things up. But I've been here, I time travel through time zones. Give me some of my vodka and it's on. Enrique Iglesias in translation. Enrique Church's confession on. Dale mamita, dímelo todo. Adelante tu hombre, yo me hago el bobo. So no te preocupes, baby, for real. Because you gon' like how it feels. 'Cause I like how it feels. Oh yeah, I like how it feels. You know I like how it feels. Oh yeah, I like how it feels. I like how it feels. I like how it feels. You know I like how it feels. I like how it feels. 'Cause I like how it feels. It feels. It feels. It feels. What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, you know I got it. All I'm asking is for a little respect, just a little bit, hey, baby, just a little bit. Oh, just a little bit, mister, just a little bit. I ain't gonna do you wrong. Why you gone? I ain't gonna do you wrong, 'cause I don't wanna. All I'm asking is for a little respect, just a little bit, baby, just a little bit. Oh, just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm out to get it, all my money. And all I'm asking in return, honey, is to give me my promise when you get home. Just a little bit, baby, just a little bit. Oh, just a little bit, just a little bit. Ooh, your kisses, sweeter than honey. And guess what? So is my money. All I want you to do for me is give it to me when you get home. Yeah, baby, whip it to me, just get on it now, just a little bit. R-E-S-P-C-T, find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T, take F-T-C-T. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, little respect. Suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. Ooh, yeah, little bit, little respect, just a little bit. I'll get tired, a little bit, keep on trying, just a little bit. You're running out of food, a little bit, I ain't lying, just a little bit. Please, 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 when you say, okay,
We're live on YouTube, by the way.
I can't hear you.
We're live on YouTube.
Oh, good.
So you can start whenever.
Okay.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say it's alright. Darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Darling,
She
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, it's working.
So, James, maybe I did need you. I was trying to be independent. I told James, I can do this without you. You enjoy your start, and then that. Welcome back to the 2020-2021 school year, but before that, give yourselves a round of applause for what you did during the 2019-2020 school year right now, because you were rock stars. I don't care what people are saying about, oh, the spring, it was so horrible. It wasn't horrible. It was growth. We were asked to do something we were never asked to do before. We embraced it, and every day we got a little bit better. And that's what's going to happen this year, too. When you walked in the building this morning, it was different. This feels different. Different isn't bad. What we all need to do right now is we need to stop mourning what was. School isn't going to be what it was like last year. We need to embrace what is and make it OPS great. We can do that. You can do that. We can work together to do that, okay? So, there are a few people that I want to introduce. Mrs. Longo's getting all excited over there. Hold on there, Mrs. Longo. Can I please ask Caitlin Menhennick to stand up? Caitlin will be joining us in 2nd grade. Lauren DiDio, would you please stand up? Lauren will be joining us in 4th grade. Bella Pick. Bella, it's your first convocation, so you get to stand up in 5th grade. And Amanda Lozano, who will be joining us in 6th grade. Oh, hold on, you four. Stand up one more time. I want them to stay standing for a moment, because I'm going to ask some other people to stand with them. Nikki Delolio, will you please stand up? Rochelle Belmonte, will you please stand up? And Karen Marin, will you please stand up? Today, or in the very near future, these 3 women will achieve their tenure. The reason to our leave replacements I asked you to stand together is because all 3 of them started here as leave replacements. This is a community that honors loyalty and hard work. Do your job, and who knows, in a few years you'll be standing there too. And in the case of Nikki and Rochelle, they were so committed, they waited 6 years to get tenure. So thank you, and you can sit down. There are several people that would like to welcome you to a new school year, and the first one is our Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Barbara Longo.
Okay. Good morning. It seems like it was just yesterday that I was addressing all of you when I first came here, and then we haven't seen each other since. So I would like to welcome you, though. This is probably going to be the most unusual school year that you've ever had, and I know that I've ever had, and I've been in education a long time. So, I mean, I'm so happy to be here because of your dedication and your loyalty, and you've made it a lot easier for us to start planning for the school year. But I really want you to know that your administrative team has worked so hard this summer to make things be the best they can be. But we all know, because this is all unprecedented times and it's new challenges, that we're probably going to have to tweak a few things. We'll probably have to change a few things. But I think with your enthusiasm and the administration, their enthusiasm, I think we can all just accomplish whatever we need to accomplish this year. It's been a crazy summer. I signed on for part-time, and I don't know what part-time means anymore. But you know what? You do what you have to do to make it work. So I want to really welcome all of you to a great year. I mean, there's no rules, there's no guidebooks, there's no, there's nothing for us to do except our very best. With all of the experience and education you all have, I know it'll work. So after that morale boosting little, I really do want to wish you a really good day today, a good PD this week, and welcome you all back to a great school year.
I know that Barbara is behind the scenes, but I can tell you I've spoken to her more than I've spoken to my last 7 superintendents combined in her short period of time here. I'd now like to welcome to the podium to speak on behalf of the Board of Education, Mrs. Rita Walker. I guess there's no podium. I'm just used to saying that.
Well, good morning, and this is certainly unusual times, and thank you so much for all being here. Thank you. So when I was asked by our president of the board, Dorothy Nichols, to come and say a few words, I sat down to the computer and I said, let me look up some pedagogy of very sound educational theorists and lace it with my speech for today. After about 12 pages, I said, no, this is not going to work. This is a different year, and you don't need to sit and listen to me about information that you already know. So I just wanted to say that I am here on behalf of the Board of Ed, and we are delighted to have you back. It's been a crazy year so far, and to see you all here makes us so very happy and appreciative. Please know that the board is here for anything that you may need. Just let us know. Under the state mandate, our administrative team has worked extremely hard, as Mrs. Longo said, to plan a unique setup for the OPS school, both for you, our teachers, and our students, and also for the footprint of the school. Thank you, especially, for stepping up to the plate with your caring, knowledge, and flexibility to make today happen. You have already demonstrated so much these past 6 months. How you've maneuvered all of these numerous online platforms. For example, the infamous Zoom, that I think many of us don't even want to look at anymore, Google Docs, Photo Booth, QuickTime, Google Hangout, RAS, and IXL, just to name a few. And I'm sure you could write a book on about keeping the kids engaged and safe while guiding them through these online platforms. Amazing job. Most importantly, your caring, hard work, and dedication has not gone unnoticed. I have always been proud of OPS after sending 4 kids and 3 grandkids here, but most of all for this past school year. As I travel around Oradell and meet folks along the way and also peruse social media, I'm amazed at how much people respect you and appreciate all you are doing for the children of Oradell. Recently, I was with a group of family members and friends down at LBI, and the discussion led, of course, as it often does, to education and where we are today. Everyone in that group had a discussion or a comment to be made, young, old, in between. And as the discussion evolved, one of the guys there, who was not from Oradell, said, yeah, and my 5th grade teacher made me cry. Was that a conversation starter? Wow. With that, I really thought, and I said to myself, we here at Oradell don't have we don't have the problems of that because we care so much about our children. And one of the things we can always take with us is the fact that you, the teachers here in Oradell, care so much about the children. And the kids are very perceptive, much more than adults. And they remember the things and how you made them feel. They might not remember how to find the square root of a number or how to know the difference between a prepositional phrase and a dangling participle, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And being here today and for the rest of this school term, they're going to need you more than they ever needed you before. And I know you guys are going to step up to the plate. That's why we're so proud of you. Don't mind my cheat notes, but my daughter tells me I ramble if I don't use something. So nothing like a daughter to be your best critic. The children here have a wonderful future, always have and always will. And they're in your hands, and I know they're good hands. On that happy note, I have one last thing I wanted to share with you. And I guess I should have taken this off, right? You could have heard me a little better. But the one thing I wanted to share with you on a lighter note is there was a saying I saw recently, and it said, teachers, remember that angry, ranting, irate mother who yelled, "I'll have your job"? Well, call her now and ask her how she's doing. God bless, be well, and thank you.
We are incredibly fortunate at Oradell Public School to not just have the oldest PTA in New Jersey, but we also have the largest PTA in New Jersey. And the marks of a great PTA president is they humor the principal with texts at 11 o'clock at night and at 7 o'clock in the morning. They work nonstop and they work behind the scenes. And I'll let you in on a little secret. They hate today, because speaking in front of you is a lot harder than working behind the scenes. So can you give a big round of applause to our PTA president, Mrs. Kelly Castro.
She's right. Good morning. I'm Kelly Castro, PTA president. I'm nervous, so I'm going to read. I'd like to start by thanking Danielle and Robin for their hard work putting this breakfast together. To Jessica Wang, who put her efforts into getting everyone lanyards, which hold your mask. That's a Oradell Public School, and she'll be handing those out today. And to Shriver's Deli and Aroma Cafe for individually wrapping today's breakfast to keep everyone safe and healthy. I know all of you have lots to do to get ready for this year, so I will keep this as brief as possible. The PTA wants you to know that we are here to serve our OPS community. We understand this year is different from any other. With that in mind, our goals for this year are to provide conveniences and cost savings to our OPS community, which includes all of you, to support local businesses, and to infuse some fun into this year where we can. Obviously, our 30 or so committees will do things differently this year, but we still want to provide the experiences and services that we have in the past. To keep my promise I will be brief, I will send an email with these changes to all of you as we finalize our plans. I prefer to use this time when I am standing in front of all of you to thank you for your service to our community, to our families, to my family. When 9/11 happened, I remember seeing Mr. Rogers on the news. He said parents should encourage their children to look for the helpers. Fast forward to March of this year, I remembered this advice. Look for the helpers. Who are the helpers? For some it is the medical workers, the first responders, and while we are grateful for them as well, for my family and for so many others, it was and continues to be you. All of you are the positive that we point to during this difficult time. I will forever be in awe of how you shifted gears and reimagined and relearned how to teach remotely. All of you came together and made it happen, and that was one of the most inspiring things I have ever seen. And then you did it again this summer. You worked together, you made a plan for how to safely reopen our school. Thank you. There are 3 events that will forever be ingrained in my memory from this time. The first is something I might get in trouble for sharing. Where's Jane Heedy? I think you know what I'm about to say. Miss Jane emailed a video of her singing "You Are My Sunshine," while her husband, Mr. Jane, played the guitar next to her. It is the sweetest thing you'll never see because I don't know it wasn't me. I didn't give it to her. Preschool families were sternly warned to not share that video with anyone. We listened to Miss Jane. It gave me 3 smiling boys, something that was hard to come by at that time. The 2 other events were car parades organized by the class moms for my son's kindergarten and 3rd grade teachers. I will never forget their reactions. Tears of joy streaming down Miss Dominguez and Miss Tashin's faces. It quantified in a way for me how much you love your kids. I always figured you liked them well enough, but in those moments I realized that you fully, truly love them all. So that is my long-winded but hopefully brief way of thanking you. I truly appreciate the lengths you go through for our kids. Best of luck for a great year. Thank you.
I forgot to say when Mrs. Walker was speaking that the Board of Education and the administration team, as a sign of our thank you for what you have done and what you will continue to do, has arranged for an ice cream truck to be here on Thursday at, I think it's 1 o'clock. So if it does rain, because guess what? It's gonna rain. We're just gonna put it under that bridge and we're still having ice cream. And a note to our business administrator, I'm not sure if you all know Mr. Marmora, but, because he wasn't here last year for Convocation, but Mr. Marmora, did you hear what Mrs. Walker said? The Board of Education will get us anything we want. I have it recorded. You know, there's moments in our lives when we love that atta-girl, that atta-boy, that pat on the back. And right now, we're kind of the darlings of the Tri-District. Okay, we've managed to create a plan where we can open. But the fact is, none of us did it for the attaboy, the attagirl, the good job. If you participated in the creation of this year's reopening plan, you sat on a committee, please stand right now. Thank you. These individuals, you guys can have a seat. These individuals, your administrative team, the parents that joined us, we didn't do it to say we could do it. We didn't do it because it was a competition. We didn't do it to say we can do something other people are struggling to do. We did it for something more pure than that. We did it for the kids that remote instruction was really hard for. We did it for the kids that struggled, that we worried about slipping through the cracks. We did it for the kids that need to walk in these doors next week. That's why we did it. So when parents who normally are sending me emails, complaining, are suddenly coming out of the woodwork saying thank you, it's great. But truthfully, none of us did it for that. We did it for, in my case, Nelson. Nelson was a 4th grader that I taught many years ago. Nelson's dad was a landscaper. His mom had passed away from cancer. Nelson would have fallen apart during remote learning. I did it for Van, because when I taught Van came from a very high-achieving family. Van had a reading disability. His mom and his dad, they told me he just didn't work hard enough. Imagine the pressure cooker for Van every time he was at home during remote learning. He needed us. He needed us here with them. He needed to see our face and read our body language because our eyes and our bodies send messages. I stand here today with you, not to say, look what we did. I stand here today because Van and Nelson need me to stand here today. So I want you to think right now, who in your life, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a child, maybe it's a niece or a nephew. Maybe it's a student that you taught over the years. Who is it that you stand for today?
I stand for Caitlin. I stand for Michael. I stand for Sam. I stand for Mikey.
Who do you stand for? I want to hear it.
I stand for Luke. I stand for John.
And keep standing.
I stand for Jose.
I stand for Ryan.
Come on, you're all here. There are children in our community that need us to stand for them right now. I know you're going to be scared. I am too. Every time we had a reopening committee meeting and somebody said, teachers are scared to come back, well, guess what? I'm here every single day and I interact with more people than any one of you, okay? I'm scared too. But those children are the reason that we stand here today. They're the reason we're gonna keep moving forward. They're the reason when you go into your classroom, you're not immediately gonna call the office kindergarten and say, my desks need to be lowered. You're gonna take a big deep breath, okay? I promise your desks will be lowered, okay? So today, set up your classrooms. We're gonna have a faculty meeting this afternoon where we will try to get to all of your questions. Okay? This morning, I'm sorry, 11:15, it's like the afternoon.
11:45.
I'm clearly not gonna be there.
It's 11:45. 11. I have the schedule here, hold on. We're a little tired, people.
We were here till 11 o'clock
It's
last night.
11:45 today.
Okay, so go to your classrooms, but before you do, the PTA has breakfast over there. There are individually wrapped sandwiches, there are coffee, and I think Mrs. Levy wants to say something about that.
There's VEC is baking out of the cheese, and it has water inside if you want, and then there's Taylor ham and cheese, which is TEC, and then just egg and cheese. They all have water unless there's an OJ on the outside, in which case there's OJ inside.
Starting to sound like hybrid on the A day, remote on the B day, except for on the on-site support day. Go eat and we'll see you this afternoon. Or this morning.
This morning.